You know, there was something that's been bothering me for a while now with this Giants team. And last night's loss just amplified that a lot. It was one of my greatest fears in this offseason that I've actually expressed a few times on the channel, whether it's in a video or a stream. But I'll be honest, I haven't said it in about a month because I just sort of convinced myself it was a fear without sound, without any type of backing behind it. Those of you that stuck with me through the offseason, watched my streams and stuff like that, you know what I'm talking about when I say I've said that I'm not sure if changing up this defensive scheme was such a good idea. Now, granted, they went in a different direction than I originally thought they would. When we all thought they were going to change up the scheme, we all thought it was going to be a bit more man and man press type coverage type things. They went with soft zone. But I said in the offseason that last year, Patrick Graham, the reason I call him the mad genius is because he came up with his new scheme based on the players he had around him, based on, what he was supplied, basically. And it worked out. It worked out extremely well. It gave us a really good defense in the NFL. And I was like, part of me was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stick with that. You're just going to have better pieces now. And logically, maybe they're going to do better in that same defense, but he didn't stick with it. Now, he didn't go to where we thought he was going to go either. But what's up with all this soft zone? One of my greatest fears was Patrick Graham changing this defense and changing the way he ran the defense, the scheme and everything about it. And we're seeing these negative effects. This defense right now is probably the worst defense in the NFL. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but we're giving up 57 points in 2 weeks. Think about that for a second. We're giving up 57 points in 2 weeks. In the first week, it looked like we couldn't stop a nosebleed when it came to third downs and fourth downs. And last night, on one drive, Washington scored on us in 2 plays. Think about that for a second. And of course, defense couldn't protect the lead for anything. They couldn't get them off the field in the last drive. I'm not even going to get back into that because then I'm gonna get real angry. I'm going to start thinking about Dexter Lawrence and offside. I'm going to start thinking about Darius Slayton in the drop. I'm going to start thinking about how Joe Judge is a bum and he can't try and be aggressive and try and convert some things. This entire coach, this was supposed to be a vid just about Patrick Graham because this he's pissing us all off, bro. But this entire coaching staff is some straight trash, bro. Right now, they all look like hot garbage. Straight basura. It's ridiculous how they look out there. But Patrick Graham, bro, why do you insist on doing so much soft zone coverage, playing so far off of the man that these defenders are supposed to line up against? We were not only letting Terry McLaurin get whatever he wanted out there on the field, and that's on you, but then the players themselves, when they were actually manned up against him, couldn't guard him. Terry McLaurin looked like a god out there, and give him his kudos. I'm convinced he's one of the best receivers in the NFL, because this man ain't had a real quarterback ever. Kind of like DeAndre Hopkins early on in his career, but we're not going to get into that. That's a whole different topic, whole separate video. But Graham, you're killing us with the fact that you fixed something that wasn't meant to be fixed. Nothing was broken. And once again, it's not even like you changed it to what we thought you were going to change it to. Why did we spend $30 million on acquiring man cornerbacks if we're going to run soft zone? Why did we draft Aaron Robinson in the 3rd round if we're not going to run man and press man and stuff like that and be physical? And granted, Aaron is injured. Fine. Adore's not injured. James Bradbury's still out there. And that was another concern. Last year, James Bradbury had the best year of his career, and it was once again, a scheme that Graham kind of came up with because he had to deal with the players he had, and it worked beautifully. It worked beautifully. It was a zone scheme, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have deep football knowledge of schemes like that, but I can tell you the basics of it. It was primarily zone-based, but it wasn't this soft zone that we're running right now. And I do think that's affecting Bradbury's performance, but I'm not completely absolving him either, because once again, when he was directly matched up man-to-man, he lost the battle last night. You know what I'm saying? Bradbury took a step back. It seems like this entire defense took a step back. And then in addition to them taking a step back, you lay on this new trash scheme that we're running for some reason, and it's even worse than it actually is, in my opinion. That's why we look so bad. That's why we're giving up 57 points. Patrick Graham needs to change this. Y'all already know me. I kind of feel like the season's over. I mean, you can't blame me. You can't blame any fan right now because we've been in this hole for 10 of the past 11 years. We've been in this hole for 5 straight years now since 2017. Where we see when you start off 0-2, it's ridiculously hard to get anywhere from there. Honestly, from 0-2, it's only downhill, but we'll see. We got Atlanta coming up. I don't even want to think about Atlanta for a couple of days. You know, it's 10 days until the Giants play next. They got a long break. They got more than enough time to try and fix something, but this is just not a good look. Why would you change what worked? And now it's looking bad. And you saw how bad it looked week 1, and you said I'm rolling with the same thing. And once again, the defense was the liability. Let's forget about, you know, the drop and stuff like that for now. If the defense simply does its job, if the defense is simply average, we come away with that game. An average defense doesn't give up 30 points. You know what I'm saying? Right now they're averaging, 28 and a half points a game. An average defense doesn't do that. That's a terrible defense. That's probably one of the worst, if not the worst in the NFL. And I'm so sick and tired of this Giants team where year in, year out, it's one thing or the other. Last year we were saying the defense is amazing, and it was. It was. Was it a bit overrated? It's probably starting to look like that, but it was a good defense because at least scoring-wise, we held teams down. And what we were saying is if our offense could be at least average, man, we'd be winning games. And now it's the flip side. And the year before that, it was the other thing. Our offense was good. In 2019, it's what it is right now. Our offense was good, but our defense was trash. It's always one thing or the other. It's a complete cycle. I don't know what it is with this team, bro. I'm convinced John Mara did a deal with the devil, and since we won that 2011 Super Bowl, ain't nothing been going right since, man. It's got to be one of the greatest collapses of a franchise in sports history. Like how you win the Super Bowl, and then immediately after the next year, you're just trash, and you continue to be trash for the next 10 years. Bro, the Knicks aren't even that bad when you compare the collapse. Because the Knicks, listen, I know the Knicks ain't had a championship since the 70s, but like they were competitive in the 90s. They were a good team, and they weren't that bad in the 2000s. They had a small, very, very small run with Carmelo, like a 2-3 year run where they were good. And honestly, now they're back into things. We'll see how it goes. But like, yo, the Giants are the worst team in New York sports right now, and I don't think it's close. I really don't think it's close. I'm so disappointed in this defense. I know I've gone on several tangents this video, but the main point of this was this defense and Patrick Graham. The reason, I'd say most of the reasons this defense is doing so bad is because you're not putting them in a position to succeed. You're putting them in a position where they're allowing the opposing offense to get plays on them. And that's not a good strategy. It's clearly not working, and we can't get a pass rush. How were we able to get a pass rush last year with our 7th round guys coming off the edge, but we can't get a pass rush with our 2nd round pick in Aziz, our 3rd round pick in Lorenzo, you know, you got O'Shea out there as well. How? And I know that's where it comes to more on the player stuff. Like these players they're not hungry. They're not tough mentally as this team likes to claim they are. They're soft. And where's this man? I'm ashamed to be wearing this right now. I'm ashamed that I made a t-shirt of this man. Where are you, Leonard Williams? You're being paid $20+ million a year to do what? To be out there and just do nothing? Both games, both week 1 and week 2, there was only like one play where I saw Leonard Williams out there, like actually noticed him. And I don't know, I don't have any stats up in front of me to see if he's getting double teamed, what the percentages are looking like or anything. I just need to look at the game by myself. Both Taylor Heineke and Teddy Bridgewater these past 2 weeks were having the time of their life in the pocket. Alright? Got no pressure. Our corners are playing like trash, and in addition to that, they're in a scheme that is trash. Our linebackers, it's so hard to judge because at one point Blake looked like he got his tackling ability back, and then another point it doesn't. I don't know what to say. But Graham, this is on you, man. This is coaching. I don't know what in the world happened with the coaching of this team. We came in and we were like, if there's one thing we're confident about is that the defense is going to be good, Patrick Graham is going to have them coach well, and Joe Judge is going to be a good head coach. And it's the complete opposite. The things we were worried about, Daniel Jones, the O-line, they've been the only bright spots of the year so far. And give them their kudos. The only good coach on this team for this year is Rob Sale. Because even with Nick Gates out, the offensive line did an admirable job in pass blocking. And I showed you guys what they did last week. They were pretty good in pass blocking. They just need to get the rundown. But Rob Sale, you're doing your thing. Patrick Graham, you're trash. You are. Joe Judge, I already spoke at length about this man in my reaction video. You know what? Once again, they got 10 days to do something. To at least start off 1-2. And we know how the NFC East is, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And I honestly am so disappointed with this coaching staff more than anything. I mean, and I'll be honest with y'all, bro. I made the comparison to 2017 so much, but I wouldn't be surprised if this locker room starts to give up on them, because that's the unfortunate part about having a coach like Joe Judge, a coach that's hard, or at least he claims to be hard on his players, that's extreme disciplinarian, is that it's very, very easy to lose them if you're not winning games. And we saw Kenny Galladay out here yelling at Jason Garrett on the sideline. We know Kadarius Toney is unhappy with how he's being used, and I completely agree with him. Judge, you know what I'm saying, Gettleman, why we drafted him, and now it's on Judge just to not use him. It makes no sense. If he's not healthy, don't have him dressed for the game. You know what I'm saying? Don't have him involved in plays. Simply ridiculous. Simply ridiculous, man. I'm going to be having another paint stream tonight. I haven't decided the time yet, 8:30, 9 o'clock probably, but you guys call in, I don't know, man. Maybe you guys got your rant as well. I don't think I've ever ranted this much on this channel, man, but here we are. Put your thoughts down below. I'm out, man. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll catch y'all in the next one.